Let's see. Oh. Oh, tired now. It's like I fired up stream and instantly got tired. Oh, no, I'll be awake in a minute. All right. Let's see what needs improving. The jumping. The launch more specifically. Yeah. I'm gonna see a couple things.
I'm still debugging the physics on the physics module on 5.4. It's just that is the only thing that doesn't work on that. So really wanted to get it working there.
Hmm.
We also really need to start getting a new trailer out because last one was 2022. So
Yeah.
let's keep 2000.
We need to start posting more in general, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I think it's been a bit hard because we've not quite been. But yeah, I wanna do a bit of it. But I think we should just start I'd like to start a bit of a series of like making SPP, and the first one just kind of talk about the game, plan for it, why we started it, what kind of our intention. You know what I mean, like that, and then just make it like a regular thing and just do like regular episodes and stuff like that.
Yeah, we need to be more consistent.
Yeah, really do.
I mean, I'm quite glad that we are keeping up the daily stream, so that is good.
That's one good, yeah. But I think we need to just post more, yeah. But I think that'll come too. I think we're now at a stage where, if I'm totally honest, I think now we can actually like make content that, like, I also think the main thing is the art and the level. I think is the main thing to, we've got to fine tune that pipeline to, so that we're not just making content in blocky worlds and it's. Oh god, I overshot that massively. Okay, a little less. Oh no, didn't mean to grab that. A little bit more power. Ooh, I put way too much power into that. A little bit more power. Just on that. Ooh. Alright. Okay. Coolio. Potentially. I think it'd be nice. Yeah, like using the legislation stuff potentially may help. I think what we'd want to get to though is a point where you have enough responsiveness and control that you don't need it. Like you kind of don't really need it now, to be honest. It's mainly just for when you want to do like really really tight knit stuff that you might want to have it. But you kind of don't need it. It works like a debug set, but yeah, you don't like. Yeah, you don't really actually need it now, ironically. Oh, yeah, now we got to sort that out. Ooh, why did it do that guy? Oh, it's because I don't have a step jump or climb jump. That's why. See, that animation is ridiculous. It when it does that, this is the problem. That one looks fine. Okay, so let's see what the crack is. So that one looks all right. Now I know the fall's a bit sucky, but minus the sucky fall, let's look at the transition into the sucky fall. Let's set a session marker here. Alright, let's do a couple different ones. So let's do. See that? Niet. Net, but that's not nice. Is it not? So now I can launch it. I just don't like it when it does that. To be honest, when it does the across one, it's pretty. Falls pretty late, to be fair. Yeah, that falls pretty late too. Alright, let's pick a scenario. Yeah, there's 1490. Those ones are just they don't look very good when they do that one. Yeah, that it just doesn't look as right. Looks very wrong, to be honest. Also, I don't know that takeoff. That's alright, I guess. And see, they all fall, to be fair. It's that disconnect again. And that immediate like takeoff, I really don't like. It's the only thing I don't really like. That immediate like poop. Yeah, the fact that you can take off that early. Yeah, okay, so let's see here. So if I yeah, it really does, doesn't it? And we still got a lot of UI stuff to sort of see. Yeah, it does jump acrosses. They just don't look right. They look very wrong. This guy looks fine. Let's have a look here. So that one looks kind of fine when it does it. Main things here. Oh damn. Okay, so main things here. Oh, that landing is so beautiful. Okay, so let's go max power. Yeah, you get absolutely yeeted, but that's alright. I can survive that for now. And let's just go minimum power. You just tap it. It still looks very good, to be honest. Okay. So it's just the jump across stuff I hear. It's the animation thing. I've not no. What is the Pop Master Ragdoll? I've not seen that. The main thing I think here, yeah, because they already do full. So the main thing really, if we look into our anim cut, I think the main thing that's pulling me back from that is this. We take an animation like this one. Just it's there's such a drastic blend back to the. I mean, let's drop the let's drop the blend time and see what that behavior is sort of looking like. Um, yeah, interesting. Quite a long time to blend. Let's just override this and give it something like 0.3. I'm curious to see how this is going to behave. Because the blend's not doing it. I don't think that is the case. I think it is just the fact that that offset is completely wrong. We need to sort that out. I think the best bet would be from here. Oh. Oh. Ah. Yes. Very nice. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, so our ragdoll now is there's no, it's not like ragdoll, like we control it through physics, so we blend it in and out. So like I layer physics on top of everything at the moment. That's what's made everything a lot better. I can kind of show you, to be fair. Actually, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I've discovered the key to my evils. Yes, that is why. That's what it is. I was wondering why it was looking so poopy. I was wondering, and now I know. Now I have discovered the truth. I'll show you. Yeah, so I use physics for everything. So, yeah, physics. Oh, let me close this geezer. Yeah, physics is literally layered above everything. So you can see now. So now, if you see like W strength, like the impact physics goes on like up and down a ton. Like now, I don't know if you've noticed you may not be able to see it with stream lag and whatnot, but now the falling is and the landing. So like, if let's look at Sticks now, he kind of like, oh, just hit my tooth. It kind of jerks himself, and the animations are still all a bit poopy, but there's a lot more impact and weight to it. So like, so now a stick feels way more. I mean, you can kind of see it there. I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but I mean, let's go slow mo and I'll do it. So if I stick, can you tell? Can you see it on the stream? You can definitely see when you play, and the faster you do it, but like you can really see it when you. Oh, I didn't realize I live coded. So I'm gonna do a terrible stick. I don't know if you can see the jerkiness that now has. And then if you look at that, also the fall animation isn't really a sticky one, like one where he sticks his legs are like split into. So yeah, it doesn't. It's like nowhere near as good, but yeah, it's a lot more. Oh, I've changed the blend time. Okay. Nice. Okay, sorry. I absolutely destroyed this blend time. I was wondering why it's behaving weird. It was the second live code finish, but I just yanked down the blend time. Oh, that's awful. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. I think it's still a bit long, but yeah, the clothes have got a big improvement in 5.4. We've got the preview version, and that has tested it out, and the clothes work now in 5.4. Because in this version, there's a bunch of problems. Even when I was doing it and trying to do it, it's still experimental. But I can imagine now the process. To be fair, Dada, that's one thing I didn't even think about. The process of actually doing the cloth sim. What's up with my thing? Why is it not? Oh, it's still building. Yeah, the process of doing the cloth sim will probably be a lot easier now as well. Like, I wouldn't. Oh, his mic is completely muted. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Last time you say, yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, I said it from the start. I was like, we've got to do motion matching. We to be fair, from the very start, we always knew we were going to do motion matching because it's just the way forward. Like, a state-driven approach just isn't the way. Like, yeah, the sticks are really nice actually, and there's still so much improvement. We've got to improve the animation. We've got to improve the fall. We've got to kind of start to transition to a pose that you want to stick. But already now with the physics, and this is just the beginnings of the physics. We got so much. I need so much tweaks because one of the things that it doesn't do that I need it to do is it has the forward jerk really nice, but what it needs to do is have the sink on the pelvis. Now I can do that procedurally with control rigs and IK, right? So I can on impact measure the impact and pull the pelvis down in a control rig to simulate that, right? So that is one approach. But the approach I want to do first to see, because it should be the way, is to do it all purely physics. So like now, if you see it, the forward jerk is perfect, but it doesn't have that downwards like sink of the knee, like bend the knee in order to like soften the impact. And that's what it's really missing. And so there's a couple ways we can go about it. I know I can definitely do it through control rigs and like sort of like IK and have like the pelvis as I impact will like simulate, or sort of like an oscillating spring, like bang, and it'll like rise back up based on the impact of it. But I don't think that's necessary because I should be able to do it. Like logically, I should be able to do it with physics. Like if it's behaving properly, I should, because it has all the right stuff for the forward momentum, but it's really lacking on that like downwards one. So that's the next improvement to come. But already it's way better than what it was. And the animations, well, I need to do them properly again, but yeah, because some of them are just a bit too staticky. But yeah, no, it's looking a lot better, and the rolls are so much nicer. I mean, the rolls have this like uniqueness and like non-uniformity. Let me because now you see the knees kind of bend and you feel impact. And so we've got a damper going, so I use a damper for this to bring it in and out physics. So when I jump, as you go into full, you see the world space strength. I bring physics back, it like maximize physics effect, so it goes to 1 on a damper. And then so when you land, you see the crunch of the knee. I keep it at 1 for a little bit, and then I transition it back to 3, which is like physics active, but not enough to disrupt the motion. And then as I start to come out of the motion, I bring it back up to low, very low physics acting, so that the locomotion is undisturbed by the physics movement. And it means like the safety taps now are beautiful as well. They really have, like, you don't feel, one of the, I think, classic problems I find with the landings that I was really struggling to get over was the feeling that like when your character stopped, it was, you know, when a human body stops, you feel the momentum shift, like, of the impact. But in essence, like, if you are a capsule, like, your capsule is hard, right? Whereas the human body, although we're hard, like, it's hard, your joints and stuff don't act as rigid. Like, so the animation can be doing that. But if your thing in space doesn't like compress and squash and, you know, bend in the way the body does, it will always look very rigid and very static. Which I think was one of the biggest things with the sticks before. They just had this like rigidity that it was hard to overcome. And you were at a point where you were relying on the animation to give you any and all sense of weight, which, especially with raw mocap that we have at the moment, it's near impossible. You know, there's so many flaws in it. That it just wasn't realistic to achieve that. But like now you can see, like, even the way the arms swing, you know, like so when he does a reverse vault and he does that, the way the arms swing across and they kind of pull across the body just because of the momentum makes it so much more beautiful. I'll do it again daytime so you can see. Oh, move the camera back to the middle. So we'll do reversal here. And so like we'll see now the way on the falling now is just all physics based. Yeah, the way the arms swing across the body. Or even that, like just the whip of the head is just enough to just give you that added sense of like weight and impact. Yeah, and so this stuff like camera shake and all the stuff that will now be layered on top of it. Like, and you just don't need a lot, right? So it's bit by bit it comes. And so I think the first thing is the animation, like have a really, you know, good dynamic animation, then layer on a nice level of physics, then add your additional elements of like cloth sim and camera shake and sound design, like UI, like all those stuff to add to it. And that is what's going to give it that feeling of like, oh, you know. And then you can start to look at playing with like some IK and procedural stuff to say, okay, well, what is the forward momentum or impact? Like, so now one thing I can do is measure so I do it now. I can measure the impact of the physics collision. And so that's, we have that actually. So that's why sometimes you ragdoll. I mean, let me go up here. So we can do, if you've fallen for a long period of time or you've received a significant impact, your what's it called? Yeah, you might bail. And so what we can then do is say, okay, well, if your impact is on a certain amount, and then we can look at the impact on specific bones, right? And then say, okay, we'll also look at your velocity going into the fall. Say you had a lot of forward velocity, that means you might fall forward or whatever. And you know, like, so here now, if he lands, oh, he's actually going to make that. Let me go back. Let me see if I can If I absolutely yeet myself off this thing. Oh, hold on, let me. Oh yeah, I can also I can control the power of my jump. So if I like walk and then tap, it'll do like a little jump. You might not make it, and then or I can like just jog and go faster, and I'll jump further. Or I can like hold it, jog, and then launch, and I will get yeeted. Um, or I can just jog and tap. Like so, there the impact was significantly greater because I got a lot of things. So it bailed. And so yeah, there's a bunch we can do. Like so now you can like, oh yeah, just playing around with arm jumps as well. Yeah, but now you can control entire like it's the game is harder in like significantly, but now it's a lot more fun because you can control like. So if like say I wanted to stick on the edge there, I'm just messing around with arm jumps as well. So I can it takes a couple tries to be fair, but it's like in like a way that is like it's like okay, a little less. So if I just run and jump, too much power, so I'll go a little bit slower. Oh, too little. There we go. Ooh, that was actually perfect. I still need to sort that animation. That animation is dog, but I already know what the fix for that guy is now. So no. Yeah, I know the fix. I'm gonna fix that in the next 2 minutes once I've stopped playing. Oh yeah, and then you can do your. So now you can also So now that jump here, you can. So there's like an aiming part, and the other thing I'll do tonight is the ability to like control yourself in the air, to like add like additional forces to just I think it's the balance between like gamey and realistic. Like you want it realistic so that you can. Ooh, that stick is nice. Okay, too much impact. Yeah, you want it realistic, so like the kind of like the direction you go in is the direction. Ooh, nice with it. That was clean actually. Whoa. I think I'm off there. Hold on. Let's go like here. Oh, that. Ooh. Ooh. You just love a crash that doesn't say. That just has a bunch of random letters. Then you just love it. Um, Wanting to jump from Unity, I hate blueprints though. Yeah, I mean we don't use blueprint. It's C++ bias towards Unreal. Um, I mean, Unreal definitely has its own like flair of C++. I'd say just learn. You can apply it. It's pretty. Once you get the hang of it, it's all right. Like I still need to do some more C++ there myself. Unreal are like Epic are really, really pushing in the market though. Like they're kind of pushing the market with Unreal. And a lot of business. It depends what you want to do, right? A lot of businesses, brands, and projects are moving over to Unreal and like Epic's things because they are developing a lot of stuff that's very good. Um, yeah, I don't know. We've done another project, another game in Unity, and I found it pretty easy to go from Unreal to Unity. Well, enough to work on a game, right, and make a on a multiplayer game and make a like a AI and zombie animation system. Um, but you know, it's I guess it's just about what because there's like the coding side, and then there's just understanding the engine and like how to use the different things within it and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on kind of where you want to go, what you want to do. Epic are kind of leading though. They're definitely leading the market. A lot of industries are using them and will be using them going forward. So yeah, I might add camera shake tonight as well. Um. Okay, so let's fix this bloody animation. I know already what's going on. That's quite good to be fair because this doesn't exist no more. That's actually a very important like distinction to make. I think what I'm doing there. I also think this is wrong. The only issue with this, it destroys the sticks because your root is in a complete wrong place. So we're gonna have to think about that. But let's do that. See how that behaves because then that's a lot better. Because if these are the only cases, we can figure out something. So let's live code that. See what happens there. See if that fix all the animations from that, and then see what kind of behavior we get. We still need to sort out what's going on with the Z because yeah, we can't have it in the animation doing this. Like this is silly. This offset is silly. It's too much. I mean, the motion already is wonky, and I think that is really playing an impact. So, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Because what it could just mean is that we eliminate this whole distance scale nonsense, and it all just goes down to your takeoff match when it comes to a running jump. We'll have to see because currently it's not useful. It's actually being a bit more troublesome than it needs to be. Let's use this guy as an example initially. This also has a specified keyframe, which is wrong. That needs to go. Much smoother. The whole motion of that is so much smoother. Takeoff's a bit jarry on that one though. I can't tell if that's just the takeoff being really jarring on the lift off. That takeoff's crazy. Hold on, let me sort that out. What time? Yeah, no, that's jarring. Hold up. Yeah, that's an awkward ass time to take off. It looks better, but I still think that Z issue is still the primary problem. I don't mind that jerkiness because that launch physics is always going to be a little bit off. But to be fair, I think the primary motion is way better. Yeah, it is actually. To be honest, actually, it's actually right. I don't like that it does it though. I don't know if it's when it starts to fall that's jarring. But whatever it is, it really annoys me. Can I stick that? I can't. See, that's the problem there. And it's because if we look at the capsule here, that animation is still above the capsule root. Yeah, like that. But so like this, right? You will think you should stick that. So you need to be and that's the flaw. Like, because it's so disconnected from the capsule root, you'll think, oh, I'm sticking that, and you won't. But if you overshoot it, then you'll stick it. So that disconnect we really need to account for. It's better though. It is, the moving itself has added a lot of stability to it. Yeah, it has added a lot of stability to that. From what I'm seeing. Oh god, those standing jumps. Yeah, that looks way better. Let's get a bit more speed going into this. I got started the ragdoll again as well. I knew that was gonna happen, you know. Okay, that's a physics thing. I need to, that impact's going cuckoo. Oh, it was so good up until that point. That was such a beautiful run. Play's really nice, to be honest. Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna get this version out for you guys in the next couple of days. I want to release it tomorrow, to be honest, actually, if I can. I mean, we'll see what I get done tonight. Uh, let's sort out. So the two things I'm gonna get on. The force, additive force bound on the capsule, bound by additive force on the capsule while you're falling, on the character while you're falling. B, what else do I want to do? So yeah, be able to control yourself in air, not too much, but enough where you can slow yourself, nudge yourself in like or in. See, then I don't know about nudging. That's the thing, because I don't think nudging makes sense. It's the whole point of power in a jump. But then like, it's that leeway, right? Like, do you just like? I guess it's how difficult you want it to make, because you can make it like you've got to aim right every time, but then. So one of the things with motion matching, right, is that there's this like. And this is like what people would mention in the, like, they'll be like, "Oh, motion matching will just make animation set," but like the reason why not every studio or game uses it already, right? There's a lot of talented people that could have made it, right? One of the struggles is there's this like balance between like realism and responsiveness, right? And the more realistic you make the motion, the less responsive it becomes, because the human body in the mocap does not function how your character input will. So it's all fine if your character moves like on like an 8-dimensional plane, right? Like, so like if it moves like with a facing direction and your character moves like this, right? Like, like forward, backwards, left, right, like, but like facing one way. Because you can sort of like your ability to control like stuff like that, directional stuff, is bound like, oh, you have a rotational rate that you turn at, and then you can have slight dampen, like a slight slower movement in terms of like the 8-way direction. But because you're moving on like I don't say one plane, because you're moving like left, right, but like in like a somewhat restricted way, right? Your turning is still like data driven, right? So it's still like I turn at X speed, right? So with animation, however, you turn at animation speed. And animation speed may not always equal what you want to do as a player. So if I say turn right, okay, but I'm facing left, right, your character, if you want it to look real, can't just turn right. Now, and it cannot also just turn right at a rotation rate of like 100, because it's like, okay, what foot am I on? How am I planted? What speed am I going at? Like, so many variables play into it. So you can ramp up the realism, and then your character will do like a nice, beautiful, sexy turn. But like, what if you're? I mean, I'll give an example. Like, what if you're in this little maze here, right? And you need to turn right and then turn right again, and like you need to have a lot of control over all the different, like, you want to do. I mean, to be fair, our character controller is actually pretty good, but we like rotate. It's like rotational warping, like, which I think Epic do as well now with like orientation warping for like the animation, to rotate the animation as opposed to the capsule. But yeah, I'm not too sure how they approach it. So we'll have to see there. The tricky part is balancing that out and making it so that like your character moves like a human and realistic, but responds to what will be seemingly non-human inputs responsively. Like, so if I'm going this way and I say go right, so that is a really quick turn, right? Like, realistically in real life, like if you were just to say go right with that trajectory, but pick an animation to do that, you're never turning that quick, because you can see he kind of just like, he does the turn, but he turns quicker than the rate of that animation. So that's just the balance you'll get. Like, you'll never go 100% realistic, because you'll turn as fast as your data, right? And it's a game, right? You don't want to be freaking as slow as a human. But you can get. I mean, we're pretty close, to be fair, and hopefully with 5.4 and their new, with the continued support and update to the motion matching stuff, hopefully we do get. One thing is, I think it's optimized the process a lot, and it's just made the tool more powerful. So we can use that, and it'll help us out a lot more. So I'm excited for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Sorry, sometimes I do play it, so I do. It is kind of fun. Ooh. Yeah, see that is dog. You've got to sort that out. But I like that it does it. I know it looks completely wrong, but I like that it does it. And stuff like this is when the three-dimensional motion matching will really come into its element because of the small drops, the falling with the animation. But that's the kind of stuff we really use it for. But no, yeah. What was I gonna do, guys? Re-elaborate animations. I started waffling. Be funny if you can even hear me and you see my face go like yada yada yada. Falling with the animation, but that's the kind of. Oh yeah, so Joel, so now the jumping is like you can control how far you jump. So like you can control how far you jump with your speed, right? So I always wanted your base jump to always look good. So if you just tap jump, right, you'll jump at. I've not got it at the speed of the animation you pick, but I've got it at the speed at which you were moving before the animation. So you see, like if you jog, you'll do that, and if you sprint, let me climb up here. If you sprint, you'll like yeet yourself a bit further. Or if you hold the jump, sprint, and then launch, you'll just like absolutely fly. Now that is completely controlled by like data. So I can make you jump further, I can make you jump less, but it's no longer like before it'd be like, oh, we need an animation to jump further. That's bullshit. That really should never be the case. If you need to jump further, we should be able to say, hey player, you can jump further without relying on an animation to do it for you. So that's where we're at now. Now you can do a little jump. Oh, do a big jump, and it's so now you can like hold down the jump before you let go to power it up. Oh, but yeah, I need to work on the is it hard to land precision? Nah, it's easy. You just hold both triggers. What's hard with the precision now with this is that when you want to be precise, so a lot of the time you can bail. So like before, right, like actually landing a precision is easy, right? And we'll bring in a mechanic to make it so that you don't do it every time, right? Depending on, so already now, like the quality of your stick, like the closer to landing you do it, the better stick animation you get, and more points and stuff like that. But we also now we need to bring it in. The closer to landing you do it, the more chance of you actually sticking it, depending on velocity, and then you might need to be able to counteract the thing to be able to balance yourself. And there's loads of things you can do, to make sticks more interesting in that regard. Yeah, but a front flip just isn't. It's not. I was saying in the chat, like the flips aren't. I really made them primarily to do, like, test out the input queue and queuing actions and how that would feel. And it felt very good, so we'll keep going with that. Sorry, I need to do shit rather than playing the game. My God. What was I gonna do? Well, I need to re-elaborate all the animations first and foremost. These jumps. Then once I've done that, we need to fix a couple things. Primarily, yeah. Let's actually make a list. So I need to sort out the get up, but that's not priority. So priority number one is I mean, first thing we can do that's an easy is like additive force while falling. Right. So an additive force whilst you're falling, so that you can give yourself a little bit more control in there. Potentially not forward though. But yeah, we'll see. Then so additive force whilst falling. Um, then we say the root Z jump animations that needs to be addressed. Then we need to look at um falling transition to the fall. Smoothness of that. And then let's look at the jump and launch. Um, yeah. So we'll look at sort of like how much power you're giving on the launch, what power are you going into it with, that kind of bits and bobs. And then we'll look at the get up. And then with those, I think I'm going to get you a test build up. See how you guys find this stuff. Ooh-wee, Lord. Huh. 1492. You guys see it? There it is. Much of it animation. I just don't like it, to be honest with you, if I'm totally honest. But yeah. What am I doing in my life? Dude, let's see how this transition here looks. So already, the actual, yeah, I mean, to be honest, that looks a lot nicer. So that, I mean, that animation is just a bit doggy, though, I'll be honest with you. See, he's not making that, even though he should. Like, he should be making that. And that's the root Z thing I need to fix. Because that motion looks beautiful, but it's wrong. And that too is very. It's just that. And yeah, like it's an animation thing because of the type of animation it is, but yeah, because the way that transitions to that fall, because it takes so long to do so, it never looks that good. He really, that like a jump like that should be like a like a jump, as opposed to that kind of jump. Like, it's just such a weird kind of animation. It's a very staticky. You're jumping to stick kind of thing. And I mean, I don't have less animations that don't do that, which is something to think about when we do our next workout session. But if it's purely an animation problem, I don't mind. As long as the motion and the movement and stuff like that are correct, which seemingly they look a lot better, to be honest. Now I think we need to look at. We got to look at that Z, because I think that's playing quite a big impact as well. But this can't be running. Um,
Oh, ill. I'm getting ill. No. What a terrible time to get sick. It's because my lack of sleep. Oh, I don't want to get ill. Hmm. Mega sus. Mega sus. Um. We grab data for this. Let's do this together. Because if it means I just need to delete a bunch of animations, then so be it. Because they all just do the same thing. Like that's never gonna look good. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't jump enough. I mean, like, thing not to heavy. Like we told him to do stuff, but you know what I mean. You're never gonna. That's why this guy here looks sick because he launches himself a bit. Yeah, we need to go through this tool together to fix that. Let's do the additive force. Let's just first and foremost, let's just be crazy with it, right? Let's do like a really basic, like yeah, whatever, yeah, and then let's just go ridiculous. Oh no, yeah, oh god, who's back? That. um, one second.
Sorry.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Do you want to go through this animation thing?
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
I'm about to look at the additive force stuff otherwise, but it's pissing me off. And it's because I can give these guys a build to test without being able to control yourself in air, but I don't want to give them a build to test whilst the feet dangle above the root when you supposedly land.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the best approach is for this? I'll say the problem, right? So,
Yeah.
the problem is that we keep the root 0, right? So we can go full physics, almost like it's in place, but it's not, right? We preserve the root motion, so we want best of both worlds, right? We get the root motion for everything up to take off. Then we launch with physics. We launch, and we're eventually going to launch with our own physics, but now we just do a basic like parabola, whatever launch, right? And then, that's all good. Happy days. Everything looks beautiful. Slight issue: the character, the root's in the ground. In the animation, the character goes above the root. Now, we can't have the root move up and the root stay with the feet of the character because that moves in the animation. So what will be the character, whilst he's moving in the air, will be dropping up and down. So he needs to stay still, in essence. But stay still at a point where he'll land with his feet on the ground.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter as much. I personally, for me, I have a feeling that it's just because the issue exists because there is such a gap in some of the animations when you go from your climax to your landing. And I'm almost like, if we just kept the pelvis where it was at takeoff.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the classic thing that so keeping the pelvis stable is not the problem. The problem is where the pelvis is not in the same position where it lands.
But that is a case only. So in this scenario, when it lands, it will be in the full animation. Not
Yeah.
not in the it will be in the full animation, not in the thing, and the feet will be grounded in the full animation, or basically on the floor, basically as they're doing the fall, right? Now it's in the jump, the feet we don't mind necessarily being slightly above or below, but the issue is because we can't have a really quick blend time, or maybe that's the other fix, I don't know, because then you're going to have the pose being up to go into the pose being down relative to the distance from the root quite quickly. But that might not be as much of a problem.
I played around with it. It just the blend just looks a bit dodgy, to be honest.
Yeah.
The I just there's something about seeing the character so disconnected from the root that worries me. I think in terms of the landing, I think it's fine. It's as long as the feet, the offset from the root on the ground in itself isn't crazy. But currently it is, and that's like when he falls for a while, that offset can be gets kind of cancelled out. But when he falls quickly, it's too you don't have enough time to cancel it out, kind of thing. So you still land sometimes. Your feet are above the ground.
Yeah. Well, let's try to keep the pelvis stable after landing. Sorry, after takeoff, right? And see what is the behavior of that.
Oh, also I moved them all to pelvis project, by the way, for the jumps, and they're beautiful.
Oh yeah, before they were in the feet.
Say again.
What before? I thought it was already in the pelvis.
Yeah, it was feet middle. It improved the transition quite a bit actually, from the takeoff to the fall. Just kept it a
But we
bit more
still have
stable.
feet middle in the strides and pliers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not the strides. No, we still have the feet middle for the like. We don't need them. I just sync up the landings correctly. We still have the feet middle in the sticks and landings though.
Oh, okay.
Because well, you need to land with your feet. So.
But how can the plier work if the feet are not like?
I configure the what's it called, the takeoff and landing time, so that the route kind of passes an appropriate point for the feet when we land and take off. It's a bit more manual, and I think we need to find a better approach. But I don't think we can. I like the stability pelvis project gives. It's fine for like sticks and landings because we're not using root motion at that point. We're using physics and we're not moving. But when we are moving, we're utilizing root motion. Anything other than the pelvis looks shit. I'll be quite frank.
Yeah, we had all those discrepancies there that were all a bit sus, right? Yeah, so let's keep the pelvis the same height as the takeoff, right? For the jumps.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what happens. Adding force during the fall is quite nice. It's pretty. I mean, I was expecting it to be the case. Like I wasn't expecting it to not work, frankly.
Was that adding?
So you know how like to be able to control yourself whilst you're in air, just like your left, right, forward.
Yeah.
What I think I'm going to do is scale the impact, the power of the force you can give relative to your input direction as a dot of your forward vector. So if you're trying to push forward, you can't nudge it forward, but you can pull back. If that makes sense. So that you're not like because pushing forward, I think you gotta have more power, but pulling back, it's like it will look like shit and trying to manually force yourself forward. And then left and right, we don't want to give you as much control, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is what I want to do. What I will do is let me get the input here. Let me actually just create a function. I guess let's call update falling movement. Do that? Should we do this? Or should I make it update additive falling? Let's call it that. Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. I mean, I think one of the things I'm actually quite happy about is I think we're starting to have a really good sense of like weight and stuff in the absence of like we've put zero effort in like fine tuning the animation. Like, so we're doing a lot of stuff with the root and stuff and like where the pelvis is, but that is to get as much of the things that to eliminate as much manual tasks from the animation pipeline as possible. But we spent no time on like let's really make this animation look good. Um, yeah, yeah. So if you think of like the dot product is like how much one vector goes in the direction of another, right? So if they are in the same direction in the parallel, the dot product is one, right, and the opposite of minus one. Um, so that we can like ramp up the forces based on that. I'll show you now. We'll create like a dot product value, so that you can directionally do it, and then we can adjust how much force we want to apply. Because I don't think you should do a lot, because there's something beautiful about it, and I like the trickiness of having to aim your character, but that also entails that aiming your character is easy to do in a way, right? Like it's not gonna like shift off every 2 seconds, you know. So, but that'll get better as the locomotion improves. So they kind of wait on each other. So we'll have to find a nice balance there. But I'm just gonna get it that you can control it quite well, and then we can ramp it up. Um, you know, so uh, I need this guy. To be fair, what I could do.
Trying to think the best way of doing this. Tempted, very tempted to take it out of the tick and move it into the actual input callback, and then query if you're falling, and then do it that way. Like bind a callback in the falling one to update your movement forces that we bind to the input move function. Which way is better? There's less in tick, the better. In the input function, add a delegate to your falling manager update force. It will subscribe to that. If you have something, broadcast that. You know what? Let me see this actually. I don't believe that's called if you're not above the dead zone, which is a good way of already filtering out without having to do an if, like having to do that check. And then we just fire that back and say, like, if you're falling, add a force. And then we can handle that force. Or is it a continuous function? Hold on. Oh, it's continuous. Yeah, it's called no matter what. Ooh. What if we create an input for that? A falling force input on the left stick. Same as move. But then we bind event when it's beyond a certain amount. I mean, you know what I mean? That could work better. Bind that to an input. That input callback, whenever that gets fired, when it's above a certain threshold, we then can say to all of our things, add forces, add move forces. No, falling forces. and then that will sell our falling manager. Or our parkour compiler could say, "Oh, falling manager, update falling movement with this directional vector." And that way, falling manager just handles a direction and a force rather than having to concern itself with controls. So the falling manager will have no clue about the controls. All it will know is that it's received a direction it wants to move, a strength of the movement, which we could say is how much you off distance you stick, and then the falling manager can say, the falling manager can know, okay, directionally, what is this direction compared to my forward vector, that scale, but yeah, I think that'll work. I like that. That makes sense to me. We would have to create our own trigger for that to actually get that to be the case. Let's add. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I have to configure that for keyboard and mouse. What do we even move?
Damn. Only thing I realize is that we technically do this twice. Let me do this way and then we can improve it. Let's do it the same way we do. Oh. The one thing is, I don't actually want a damper. I think I need it to be snap lappy lappy, and the change of forces should be what kind of combats it. But we see we might need a damper, and if so, we might need to change how we do it. Don't think I need to follow that. I'm pretty sure that is. Let's do this. If that we could do is check here, right? And we can say like if the yeah, but this for now. Now what I'm gonna do is to call it. Oh no, what have I named it? Private function. This guy's not doing anything.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. This is not giving me what I think it's giving me. um, that's not giving me what I think it's giving me. It's completely. That's wrong. Um, oh no, it is giving me what I think it would be giving me. The product ridiculous stuff. That's completely wrong. They say normalized. I think. Hold on. Huh? 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 Yeah, that's cap. Straight cap. No, I'm being stupid. But how am I being stupid? Am I being dumb? Am I being dumb? No. Because that changes the input trajectory input, which is in essence doing the same thing. That changes the input force direction X doesn't. Alright. Something hella sus going on. Something real zuzzy wuzzy. Something real sussy wussy. Ew. Ew. Didn't believe I need to normalize it. Think that might be screwing it up. A little bit. A little bit. Something is up. Because I do it here. I could just use this guy. To be fair. Dum 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 dee dum 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 dee dum dum dum. Ah. Dum 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 dum. I screw it, mate. Yeah, I didn't need to normalize it. I knew. I told you guys. Why is the trajectory input different to the input force direction? They have no bit. Why are they different? Why are they different? This is completely wrong. Why are they different? Why are you different? All right. Literally nothing's different here. All right. Let's debug. Oh. Ew. At this point, I just should just use the same thing. Be honest with you. There we go. See, now the dot product's correct. Look at that. Yeah, because I was like, if I'm pushing left and right, it needs to be 0. Like, so now if I push left. Yeah, see, thank you. I knew. Well, I was wrong, but I knew I was rightly wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it was wrong. Okay. Okay. You get me. You get me. So, you can pull back, but you can't push forward. You see what I mean, people? Now, I could just limit it to one axis, right? But there's no point in doing that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So let's let's have fun with it. So how much can I put? Well, that's completely up to me. We're about to decide. Now that this doesn't suck completely wrong, what we can do, my friend, is say, "Whoop, whoop." Oh, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. Don't ask me why I just did that. My brain is not working tonight. Ah, do you know what I could even? Do you know what I could do instead of this? No, no, because then your velocity would change. It's got to be forward vector. All right. So that's that. Uh, because what we want to do realistically is how we want to have a double, right? We want to scale it by how much your input is, and also by the directional thing. So there's kind of like a double thing there. This is also base fault. Let's do this. Quite a lot. He starts to move backwards, to be fair. Which is wrong, right? But I don't know if I mind it. Like, I know it's wrong, but like... So if I just yeet myself off this thing... Yeah, I think it's just too much force you can do. Just go, but that's completely like, yeah. And so if I try and pull right, it's really not gonna go that far. It's actually right. It doesn't really move left and right, to be honest with you, which makes sense. Like, yeah, it doesn't really move forward right. Well, it won't move forward right actually. But moving left and right will go very slowly. So like, I can pull back right. Now, obviously, yeah. I wonder. Moving left and right is a bit dodge. I mean, I don't really notice it, but it's there. I'm also like, so if I pull back right, that's too much, I think. Just half this. I guess first time. First time. I guess first time we met you was the last time we met. I mean, so I'm pulling back with all my might. Really doesn't look that bad. So let's just do, oh yeah, if I go and I just pull back a little bit. I mean, like, it's not gonna do it completely for you, but it's enough to help. I think that's it. Like, you just need like enough to, you know, je ne sais quoi. It. Yeah, you know what? Like, yeah, you need enough to just, you know, add that little bit of like, yeah, I need that finesse, right? But not too much where it's like, yeah, come on. So it's still very hard. But like, say if I absolutely yeet this, but I say, actually, you know what, I want to arm jump it instead. Oh. Well, same here. So I've launched, pull, pull, pull. You know what? You know what? You know what? The best way to test it is to try and do challenges. Let's do that rail stick. See how much this helps in doing it. What? No, I did not just climb on an empty surface. Pull back now. Cool. Didn't do what I wanted to do. So let's overshoot it. And then pull back. Okay, it does help. But it's still hard. Which, like, landing on something like this should be. Oh, I forgot to stick. Oh. Okay, yeah, it does help. But, like, okay. I feel like landing on something like this should be difficult. I mean, to be fair, I also now have no sense of like what the jump power is. So that, I mean, that doesn't help, but I honestly just keep forgetting to stick. There we go. Bang. Cool. I've got it now. No, shot. Okay, I've got it every time. I think roughly a jump power of 0.7 with a pullback does it. So if I jog, 0.5 jump power. Okay, was a little too slow. Let's get up to speed. 0.7 pullback. Bang. That should have landed. Terrible day at the office. Oh, come on, mate. Yeah, just didn't even pull back. Yeah, I like that actually. And do you know what I could do? I could even just clamp your how long you can apply force for. Like if you fall, you can only apply force for the first like second of falling. So then you don't ever get like a weird like continual acceleration of it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like how hard it is. I won't lie to you. There's like a nice level, because a part of me is like, oh, how hard should this be, right? But you are doing a running pre off something significantly higher onto a very thin, like this is the thinnest possible ledge you can get, really, realistically, that someone can stick on. So this is the hardest a stick will be, really, right? This kind of thing. Obviously you can increase the height and stuff, but then you get a little bit more control. So really this is probably, oh, I just keep forgetting to stick. It's nice though, because as you start to focus on controlling, it's actually quite just a nice difficulty. I don't know, like I feel like it should take you a while, and you should bail, and you should be like, oh, that was close, and you do it again and you make small adjustments and you're like, oh, almost there, next time. 0.7 this time. Okay, jog a bit more. If I yeet, right, just tap. Okay, don't do that. Oh, okay, actually no, what if I sprint, tap early and then pull back the whole way? Okay, too much pullback. Sprint, tap early, pull back, and oh no, you see, you have to really know your arc. That's the one. See, you can actually, and when I fix the animation, the arc, you'll know the arc a bit better. We've got to do a standing pre, hold on. Let's walk to the edge here. See, I've got to sort that rotation out. That is annoying as well. See, I need a stick that comes from... What I'm going to do, I'm going to climb up here. And now let's see what the directional one is saying. Pull back to the right. Yeah, see, that's nice, actually. Yeah, because you've kind of got it aligned already. And yeah, so I pulled back to the right a little bit to be able to do it. Which is, yeah, you know what, that's alright actually. I like that actually. So now I can pull back. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually quite nice. Obviously, I'm doing this in slow-mo. Let's see how that feels in live. Live-o. Yeah, that's alright. That's quite nice, actually. You don't really know what's going on, to be honest, which is always the best bit. Like, if I just yeet myself with this, and I pull back with maximum effort,
you don't really notice. You just think he just falls a bit more sharper, which is the way it should be. I love how much control you have over everything down there. Lovely. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It works like a charm. Can't really fault it. Even I just kind of, it's a kind of a bit of a random power value. What we could do is actually what's cool is like the more deterministic stuff we add, like so like your thingy power and jump power and all that stuff. Those are the stats you can increase over time or something like that, like just by playing the game. So we give you a decent one, but if you want to really like, you know, start to have a bit more of an unrealistic experience and just, you know, parkour crazy, like become a real crazy parkour pro, that's when we can increase how much control you have when you're full, that kind of, you know. So I'm happy with this. I've got no issues with this. Yeah, it's I'm torn between, because I can get it to rotate the character, um, and I think it should do that anyway. Frankly, actually, yeah, I think it needs to rotate the character regardless, because if you are moving that way, you should really be turning with it, and that's an easy fix actually. That's just an all-in rotation to movement kind of thing with on a slight damper, but. I want to play around with how much, like the difficulty bar, and how much, you know, like, because I could just drastically drop this, and I want it to the point where you've got enough help, like, obviously instead of moving left and right, but then because it's a game, there is that like very slight lateral movement that I'm like, I might give you just to be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm torn. Because I could remap that dot product and basically say from a dot product of 0, so if you're pushing direct right, it doesn't do nothing. So only when you're pushing in like a region of back, close to back, does it start to pull you left and right. So we can have as much control over how much force you want directionally. It's just a case of how much control do we want to give the player in air? And I guess that boils down to how easy you want to make that in air control. You know, like how weighty, realistic, and like, you know, like the balance of game versus, because obviously other games you could just launch and you could just like basically move in air, right? And I think that gives you a little bit of control that's nice to be able to just sculpt your movement a little bit more. Like that standing jump, you know, and I think, but potentially, it's one of those ones where it changes the more responsive the motion matching gets, right? And the more responsive that gets, the less we actually need that left and right movement. But currently, there is just still that like there. Like now, a little bit of a boop to make those movements a little more consistent. Oh no.
Why? I'm back.
Okay, so I've added the falling force stuff. The logic of it is pretty sound. Yeah, no. So
I think the falling animations will all get through motion matching. So realistically, what it should be is similar to what you're saying there. If I can read that chat properly, yeah, of like I think as your trajectory will change, so should how you like fall. So if I'm pulling back, I need to actually be, like counter, or I'm pulling left, I need to actually be like, you know what I mean, like reacting to it in a much more dynamic way. But it should do that anyway once we get the motion match falling done. I think right now, just scope wise for this next release, because I really want to get a build out next day or two for you guys to play around. And I think this is the perfect thing to A/B test. Like, just I think this is the kind of thing I just may as well just give it to you. What feels does it feel off? Does it look off? You know what I mean? Like, rather than me sitting here going, "Oh, it feels alright," but then it looks like, it's just like, give it to people and let me know what you think. And it's such an easy thing to change up that you may as well. Like, there's no reason to not add it. And then if it's like, oh, he looks a bit weird when he does that, it's like, actually, yeah, they're full. Or if it's like, actually, no, I really value that because I find it hard to aim properly, and that slight ability to adjust that is quite important for me, because I also don't want my behavior to be, because if I don't need it, that's fine, but then, a bunch of new people that first may play it may find it really useful, but I wouldn't know until I give it to them to actually have a go with it. So yeah, I think I'll just A/B test it. I think I'll leave it as is now, because some pretty stable behavior with it. And then just in this next build, what I'll do is I'll put a slider on it, like press a button to switch between different values of that falling force. Like turn it off, turn it on, half it kind of thing, double it, see what feels nice. Like, the animations are wrong, but you can start to see how much better and more control you now have over the movement, which is nice. And with the motion match falls, this game's gonna be sick. Imagine, like, once we really get, and this is all like raw mocap. That's the thing you gotta remember. Like, all these animations, in essence, kind of suck. You know what I mean? The IK rig is incomplete. Like, once all of that is like really final, like, it's gonna be beautiful. Oh. Thanks, Bird. Appreciate it. It's getting on here, mate. It's actually very good. Wow. 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 That's not. That's just doing. I feel like you got a good stable system when it does behavior like it's an animation, but it's not an animation. It's actually just the default. Wow. It's quite impressive that it does that. Actually, it's actually very correct. Gets caught in the middle of it. I mean, the pop back is a bit crazy, but I really don't mind that. Yeah, Dado, you there? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I've added the full like control. So I don't let you go forward on like, and this is using like physics forces as opposed to just the movement in there. So it's a lot nicer. And I don't let you go forward at all. But I do let you pull back. And so basically I take the dot product of the backwards vector of the character. And that kind of scales the like how much of the force you can actually apply. So you don't move as much left and right. Like so you're never really all the movement kind of has to be somewhat backwards, and the less backwards it is, the less like directly backward, the less force you have. So left and right don't get as much love. Now I think it's the how much we give them and how much we can completely control how much force you can apply, how much in what direction, that kind of like that's completely up to us now. But I think what I've got now, because you can see on the stream, I'll show you later, is pretty stable in the sense of like if you jump and pull back, you do really halt your movement, but it's nothing that's gonna like really affect the feel and realism of it. But I really want to, before I go ahead more, I think it's the perfect thing. I was saying no, just to Dumbus, just like to get the backers to test rather than just me, because I think I don't want to get caught off in my perception of like this is useful for me or this is not useful for me, because I'm probably better at aiming the character than a lot of people, because I am aware that with the motion matching, your ability to run perfect, and I think as we improve the animation and fix the root stuff, that'll change. But I actually want to see how much people need it in order to do more stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna see what people's reaction to that is and see like, hey, do you think you need more control? Do you think you don't need as much and it's more so the power you need more control over? And go from there. So I'm just gonna leave it as is for now, but yeah.
I mean, I think there is nothing wrong into do a little bit of integration test with with the backers. Because we can like it's not that we give this and say right, okay, that's like that is the that is the final configuration ever. So we're not really risking anything. Worst case scenario, we just build another build in a couple of days, right? So.
Yeah, if we sort out this jump animation, I think I'm happy to build for them, because now, I really have a lot more control over what I want to do. Even like just jumping across, I think all it needs now is like. Oh. Yeah.
No, 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 no. No.
So what what are the changes that you need on the animation toolkit?
Oh yeah. So basically, yeah. Let me run you through it now because I'm gonna take a quick break. Sorry, I'm playing the game more and more. I need to chill out. Yeah. So, what I'm wanting is, let me share my screen to explain it. Because I'm aware I'm also in a bit of at a branch I've changed a lot. So you might
Yeah.
have to just explain to me the process or
I
make the
mean,
change. Oh, actually, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. So it's like
yeah, the 5
in
point
this
four.
animation, for example,
Yeah.
at like at this takeoff point, I don't want the character doing that like that. But I don't want it that the root follows the feet. I just need his. It's quite a weird ask, to be honest. Like it's almost like I just need to say like pelvis, you don't move now,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
you're just in that. You're like in place from this point onwards, basically, just on the Z.
So
If that makes
let's
sense.
try for now. I'll take off the pelvis stays in the same Z, right?
Yeah,
And our landing, it will go back to
it
whatever
will go
it is.
back to yeah.
I mean, it will be jittery probably in the animation because our landing it will go back, but
It will snap back. But yeah, I just want to see if that fixes the actual in
yeah,
air thing. Then because then what we could potentially do is from takeoff to climax stay still, and then at climax to landing go back because we know at the climax point we are either going to fall or not going to fall, and then we go back. So that's one of the things we could look at. So
so
yeah,
we had that case already in the animation, but I don't think it's used anymore. Let me check.
I'm going to take a quick break, and then I shall be back. Stream. What am I going to do with you? I'm going to share Dada's screen. That's what I'm going to do. Am I?
Okay, so
Am I going to do that? Nah, because I want to chill for like an hour. I'm not going to eat, but I do want to just relax and do something else for a little bit and then come back to it. Alright, I am going to leave it there for tonight. We've actually made good progress. We're going to do that animation thing and then I'll stream all day tomorrow, so hopefully I'll wake up around 10, depending what time I go to bed, and then I'll stream all day tomorrow, so I shall catch you in a bit stream. This is actually pretty good. So our aim is to get you another build by Monday. Monday's the day.